you grew up in this lovely area. You're still there, your parents in Hewlett. And we celebrated you, a deserved honor, a couple of weeks ago, the Hikins, a Teret Kohanim in Hewlett. And what a horrible day in Hewlett 2 days ago. What was that all about?
I can't even believe it. We woke up to just terrible news that we saw ASAP Restoration, who has a big Israel flag on its window, had its windows smashed in, and then there was like a car auto shop that had a truck set on fire. That, by the way, I don't know if it's correlated, the three, but then our Jewish Community Center had a banner painted in red that said like 50,000 kids dead or something.
In Gaza. Now,
Yeah.
Bruce Blakeman, our mutual friend who you work for in Nassau County, because you're a politician, he said that it's not, they're not connected. But how could they not be connected?
Honestly, if they're not, what a poor choice of timing for both of them, because just even the optics of looking connected is really bad. They're saying that the auto shop might be a business-related thing, but I just think they're both happening in the middle of the night in this, like, it's a small Jewish neighborhood. We don't see these things happen.
Right.
It's such a small, happy community. There's no such thing as anti-Semitism where I live. It's prominently Jews, maybe secondary Italian, everyone getting along, coexisting. So to see something like this happen really shakes us up, because it's almost like you don't ever expect it could happen to you until it does.
Right. And the worst part is that you described your neighborhood perfectly. It's mostly Jewish, some Italians, but they're all, for the most part, it's money. It's a nice neighborhood. So that means that whoever did this the other night, they came from someplace else.
Right.
A lot of people told me I think it's Valley Stream. I don't know.
Valley Stream.
It is Valley Stream.
100% is Valley Stream. I don't even have a question. Can we make a bet where he was from?
Probably was Valley Stream.
Definitely.
So the fact that they're driving from other neighborhoods into Jewish witchy parts like Hewlett, that makes it even scarier.
You know what's funny? Jewish people generally, we're just not barbaric people. We're not lawless people. Everywhere we go, we assimilate or improve whatever the region was. That's a fact. I don't care if you like us or not. And I can't tell you how many times I see people hanging Palestine flags. And I can't stand it, because I know what they stand for. They stand for the eradication of Jewish people. But at the same time, and I know you're going to disagree, like, that's your right. You want to hang your Palestine flag, go ahead. No. But I will hang my Israel flag.
I'd rather hang them and take the flag down. How about that?
That's what they do to us, so we're not going to stoop down to their level.
Of course we will.
But they hang their Palestine flags. They don't have to be fearful. They're doing it loud and proud. So what I always tell the Jewish people is the same way they're so proud of their identity, then we need to be proud too. And instead, what people react to these anti-Semitic situations is, well, now we need to, lay low, tuck in your star on the train. And I'm like, no, excuse me. Now I'm just going to carry my gun more. I applied for my Manhattan permit yesterday. Shout out to Richie for helping me with that. And then I'm going to wear my star even more so.
Absolutely.
Because
I had this conversation. Do you know Eliza Licht?
You told me. To look into
she's
her.
a great girl. Look her up. She's great. And we talked, most of the short breakfast was about how we need to be more active. It's enough with the rallies and the social media, and like you said, hide your stuff. Do something about it. Now,
nobody wants to do something. Everyone finds comfort in, like, I guess, silence, where they're like, well, if we stay low, they're going to leave us alone. Like, look how many Jews showed up for Mamdani yesterday.
I know.
This guy doesn't even believe that the Jews deserve a homeland. And you're telling me he filled up a synagogue with people?
He did.
What do you think? He'll accept you? No, he won't.
20% of Jews are going to vote for him.
No, Sid, I want them all doxxed. No.
So do I.
No.
Somebody actually wrote a story last week about you carrying a gun. Did you see that?
Who?
One of these Jewish newspapers.
Like a pro or con? Probably con if I had to guess.
No, it was kind of pro. It was like Charlie's Angels. Like, here's the blonde and she's walking around town carrying a Glock or a 44 Magnum. Yeah. What is your gun exactly?
I have a 43X, a Glock, yeah. 9mm.
And you could you're good at it. You're a good shooter.
Listen, I shoot. I hope, on a serious note, one thing I could attest, shooting a gun is not easy. It's not fun.
Yeah.
Like, you feel literally both spiritually and physically the weight of it. Shooting a gun kicks back your whole body. I'm 5'5". I'm like thin. Shooting a gun is the scariest thing I've ever done.
No kidding.
But I'd rather shoot than be shot.
Of course.
That's for sure.
Well, how often do you practice?
I practiced so far only like 4 times total.
Okay.
Because it's not hard. I don't have a shotgun. I'm carrying a Glock.
How many people have you killed so far in your life?
Zero, and I hope it stays that way.
No, that's good. You have a gun. I
don't
that.
envy like Kyle Rittenhouse and Daniel Penny. I don't envy them. They did what they had to do.
Right. He turned out to be a hero,
like
Kyle Rittenhouse.
They both were. They did what they had to do.
Who was the other guy?
Penny.
Oh, Daniel Penny, right. Well, Rittenhouse used a gun, though, in Wisconsin. Right. And Penny
my point is, I don't want to have to ever use force.
I agree. So tomorrow night's a big night at Cipriani's. And Steve Witkoff, Alex Witkoff, who's on the Holocaust Memorial Museum Council with me, Steve's son, he's going to be there too. Mm-hmm. This is for our mutual friend, Ellie Beer, who's a great guy. Met him at Tila Balak's house, blah, blah, blah. It's Hatzola. Mm-hmm. And what exactly, I know they're going to honor Witkoff tomorrow night. Who else is being honored? What's this event about? And why were you out with those folks last night?
Yeah, last night they did like a pre-gala, I guess, gathering. It wasn't a fundraiser. It was like Ellie Beer, Alex, Michelle Namdar, a bunch of like really next-gen philanthropists. So like a lot of the big donors we see in Manhattan have kids that are, it's nice to see learning the values of philanthropy. So that was last night. Tomorrow night, I know a lot of like Trump's relatives were invited. I know Jared was invited, Tiffany, Ivanka, all of them were invited.
Are they coming?
I think some of them are.
Yeah.
I know they're in Jersey. I saw them at an engagement party yesterday. In
Livingston. You were at the party?
The engagement party. It was Jared's nephew.
No, I know, but you were there?
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody invited to more stuff than you. Know, how was that? How were you invited to Jared's nephew's engagement party?
So Nathan is a very good friend of mine, and he married a girl from my neighborhood. But when I know Jared. When I met Ivanka, I was like, hey, I didn't know how to make it not sound awkward, but Trump literally calls me Ivanka.
Well, you look like her a little bit.
So I approached her and I'm like, hey, we haven't met yet. But by the way, they knew who I was.
Yeah.
And
well, of course they did. What are you, Reese Witherspoon?
J-Lo
what are you,
over
me?
Here. I was like, your father told me a handful of times that I met him that I look like you and that it's a great compliment. And she was so nice. She was like, oh my God, what a compliment to me.
She's a very nice girl.
Wait, here's our picture.
I mean, you look like sisters, let's be honest.
By the way, she's so tall. I'm wearing heels.
You look short in that picture.
Yeah.
Is she that tall? I've met Ivanka.
She's like 5'10", 11.
I didn't realize, because I've met her. I've been in her company. I didn't think she was that large. She's look much bigger.
She's very thin, and she's like a supermodel.
Yeah.
She's like a model.
So she's going to be there tomorrow, and Jared, and all these folks. And what else you have coming up in the near future?
Coming up. Oh, Saturday night fight at MSG, boxing match.
And who's that?
Cambozos Jr. is fighting. I think he's Greek, if I'm not mistaken. It's a good fight.
So you get to stay home.
Saturday night?
You don't have to go to Saudi Arabia for this fight.
I know. How awesome.
Well, actually, you love Saudi Arabia.
I do, but in the summer it's hot. I'm going in August. It's going to be 127 degrees.
For a fight?
For a global conference of some sort.
And what is that for?
I don't know the details.
And what have you done for me in terms of getting me to Vegas in October?
I don't understand how you're... By the way, I spoke to Matt recently, and I was like, I don't know how Sid's not speaking.
Well, go there. You were about to say, I don't understand how
your cousin doesn't get you to speak. Norm, I know you're listening to this. What is this fake family love that you're showing your cousin Sid?
Yeah.
I'm going to send this to Norm.
It's funny because the last I heard from Norm last week, I was a guest on Mark Levin's show. He's on national, you know. It was like 8:30 on a Wednesday night. I have no idea who's listening, but big people listen. And I'm yelling about Iran and Trump, and I get a text from Norm. Mm-hmm. You sound great. I'm listening to Levin right now. And I should have said...
Like, I would sound better on your stage in
Vegas.
Vegas.
In Vegas. So is that the next RJC event?
I don't have the dates. It's probably going to be October in Vegas. That's what it always is.
So what do they talk about now? I'm curious. What's the...
Last year was mostly about how important it was to win the election, but because it was the election year and everyone was campaigning, like the big shots, like all the Trump people didn't show up. The year before, which was my first RJC, was really, really cool. I met like Doug Burgum and Vivek and Nikki Haley and like everyone that was running essentially, and Trump zoomed in, which was very cool. Next year, I'd imagine it'll be more celebratory. Like, well, actually, let's see how the midterms go.
You got the midterms in 26. That's a
go.
big deal, right? Exactly. And you know, you'll be talking and anti-Semitism and college universities, and maybe by that point, Elise Stefanik will officially announce she's running for governor. And that'll be a big deal for Trump in New York because he's going to endorse her.
Of course. I really hope she wins. I mean, she's lovely. I just saw her the other day at some like cocktail event, and it was like her event. So I went to support her.
Yeah.
And she's just so personable, and she's so smart and articulate, and she genuinely cares. Like, you know, a lot of these people do it for the wrong reason.
Yes.
Like, I'm sorry, watching the mayor debate where they were only catering to the Jews because they know we're the most of the voters.
Course.
I'm like, it's so disingenuous. Like,
I'm glad you're saying that.
It was obvious. Like,
I
they're
know.
not good actors.
Oh, is it also not obvious that after 18 months of basic inactivity, and now every single day Mayor Adams does something for the Jewish people? And I know they reached out to you. And I shouldn't say this on the air, but I will. You said no. Thank you very much. You picked me over the mayor. I appreciate that. But you picked the city because you know that the truth is that they don't really care. This is desperate attempts to get votes.
There's respect and then there's endorsement. Like, I'm a Republican. That's not going to change. I'm going to support whoever's Republican. And I know you're going to laugh at this, but I do respect Mayor Adams for his verbal support towards the Jewish community. I mean, you see who's out there. Look at Mamdani. We have worse.
Right.
However, to me...
Well, Cuomo, though, says nice things about the Jewish community.
You know what? I respect him for that, too.
Yeah.
But I also have to think about the city. And I like people who take action, not just speak.
Correct.
And to me, I feel like, especially I confronted him about it. I confronted Mayor Adams about sending cops to Columbia, and their argument was there's no imminent threat. I never got over that, Sid.
Me either.
I'm still not over it till today. I'm like, literally, I'm insulted that they didn't believe there was enough of a cause to send cops to Columbia.